Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest TV Translator Association. If you have a news topic or event you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119. Today's show runs Tuesday at noon, 3 and 6 p.m., and again is re-aired later throughout the weekend with the other weekday broadcast replays. Today is May 22nd, 2018, and now the news at noon. Reported by the Cortez Journal, a 30-year-old truck driver from Florida died last weekend after plunging more than 125 feet off Wolf Creek Pass on U.S. Highway 160. Colorado State Patrol Captain Adrian Driscoll said the truck, a 2010 Volvo semi-truck, was headed west toward Pagosa Springs from South Fork. Around 6 p.m. Saturday, the truck failed to negotiate the turn at the scenic overlook at mile marker 160 just before the highway begins a steep descent on the west side of the pass. The truck, traveling too fast, went through the parking lot at the scenic overlook and 125 feet down the cliff, Driscoll said. The driver, identified as Brendan Martinez, was taken by helicopter to a hospital. He died from his injuries around midnight, Driscoll said. The excessive speed caused the brakes to go out, he said. Martinez missed two runaway truck ramps before he went off the cliff, he said. This particular section of the highway is notorious for semi-truck crashes, so much so that the Colorado Department of Transportation launched a Beware the Wolf campaign to alert drivers of the dangers. Most crashes are the result of truck drivers driving too fast, CDOT has said. From 2011 to 2015, there were 49 truck crashes, 2 of which were fatal, according to CDOT. Reported by the Cortez Journal with a photo courtesy of Ron Ernst, a driver from Minnesota had a close call last week when his car almost went off a sheer cliff which drops hundreds of feet on Red Mountain Pass. According to Colorado State Patrol Trooper Josh Lewis, a 2015 Ford sedan driven by 75-year-old James Koch was headed north Friday on U.S. Highway 550 from Silverton to Ouray. Around 8:30 p.m., Koch was near mile marker 90, a couple miles south of Ouray. That particular section of the pass has a rock wall on the shoulder of the northbound lane and a steep drop along the southbound lane. Koch apparently hit the mountainside, then crossed into the southbound lane. His car came to a stop partially hanging over the cliffside, which drops hundreds of feet down. Trooper Lewis was unsure if speed was a factor in the crash. He said Koch was not under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Koch had minor injuries but was not transported to a hospital, Lewis said. The car required a tow to be removed from the cliff wall. Todd Smith of Durango was one of the first people to arrive at the scene with his friend Ron Ernst. Smith said he and Ernst found Koch inside the vehicle very disoriented. The car's airbags had gone off. Smith and Ernst grabbed Koch's arms and legs and pulled Koch out of the vehicle. According to the Cortez Journal, the 5-year-old girl who was attacked by a bear outside her western Colorado home has been released from a hospital. St. Mary's Medical Center in Grand Junction says Kimberly Sear was released Friday, 5 days after the attack. The girl's mother said Kimberly was attacked after she went outside to check on sounds she thought were coming from her dog outside at around 2:30 a.m. Sunday. The mother screamed at the bear, which dropped the girl and left. Colorado Parks and Wildlife officers killed the bear a few hours later. The agency said DNA confirmed the bear was the one that attacked the child. And now, let's take a look at the weather. For today's DCTV 5-day forecast, we have Wednesday coming in at mostly sunny with a high of 73 and a low of 43. Thursday will be sunny with a high of 78 and a low of 46. Friday looks like it's going to be sunny as well with a high of 80 and a low of 47. Saturday is going to be slightly warmer, but mostly sunny with a high of 81 and a low of 47. Then Sunday will drop back down just a bit while staying mostly sunny with a high of 76 and a low of 44. And now let's get back to the news. According to the Durango Herald, U.S. birth rates declined last year for women in their teens, 20s, and surprisingly their 30s, leading to the fewest babies in 30 years, according to a government report released Thursday. Experts said several factors may be combining to drive the declines, including shifting attitudes about motherhood and changing immigration patterns. The provisional report, based on a review of more than 99% of the birth certificates filed nationwide, counted 3.853 million births last year. That's the lowest tally since 1987. Births have been declining since 2014, but 2017 saw the greatest year-to-year drop, about 92,000 less than the previous year. That was surprising because baby booms often parallel economic booms, and last year was a period of low unemployment and a growing economy. But other factors are likely at play, experts said. One may be shifting attitudes about motherhood among millennials, who are in their prime childbearing years right now. They may be more inclined to put off childbearing or have fewer children, researchers said. Another may be changes in the immigrant population, who generate nearly a quarter of the babies born in the U.S. each year. For example, Asians are making up a larger proportion of immigrants, and they have typically had fewer children than other immigrant groups. Also, use of IUDs and other long-acting forms of contraception has been increasing. According to the Durango Herald, the World Health Organization has released a plan to help countries wipe out artery-clogging trans fats from the global food supply in the next 5 years. The United Nations agency has, in the past, pushed to exterminate infectious diseases, but now it's aiming to erase a hazard linked to chronic illness. In a statement, the UN Health Agency said eliminating trans fats is critical to preventing deaths worldwide. WHO estimates that eating trans fats, commonly found in baked and processed foods, leads to the deaths of more than 500,000 people from heart disease every year. Officials think it can be done in 5 years because the work is well underway in many countries. Denmark did it 15 years ago, and since then the United States and more than 40 other higher-income countries have been working on getting the additives out of their food supplies. The WHO is now pushing middle and lower-income countries to pick up the fight, said Dr. Francesco Branca, director of the WHO's Department of Nutrition for Health and Development. Artificial trans fats are unhealthy substances that are created when hydrogen is added to vegetable oil to make it solid, like in the creation of margarine or shortening. Health experts say they can be replaced with canola oil or other products. There are also naturally occurring trans fats in some meats and dairy products. The WHO recommends that no more than 1% of a person's calories comes from trans fats. And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 14th through the 20th. A juvenile was contacted riding a skateboard down Highway 491 and was informed that this is inappropriate. A report of an intoxicated driver near Rico, Colorado State Patrol was notified and they responded to the area. A local resident called and reported a vehicle that had been parked in front of their house for a couple of days. That concludes today's roundup. Stay tuned for continued updates. Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs at noon Monday through Thursday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. on each of those days. The weekday news shows are then replayed throughout the weekend as well. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA. I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.